Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Everything Wrestling. Today we will be doing episode 2 of our Monday Night Raw series. So if you have checked out episode 1, we're still in early Monday Night Raw stages, and we're now going to be going into 1994. So sit back, relax, and prepare to go down our nostalgia road as we rekindle some of the best times, best times of the Monday Night Raw series. All right, so we start off at April 25th, 1994. So on the episode of the King's Court, this is where um Nikolai was down on his luck, and DiBiase offered him a position to be pretty much on the as he called it, a servant on the $1 million as a part of the $1 million corporation. So in the scenes, as you can see, we got the before, and then we got that pretty much the next stage. So in that photo to the left, you can see DiBiase already has his cent shirt. So you know $1 Million Man was known by the dollar sign. And if you paid attention to the shirt that Nikolai had on, it had the dollar cents on the shirt. And then on the right side, you can see Nikolai accepts the offer and pretty much joins the corporation. And now, May 2nd, 1994, by this time, the head shrinkers had just appeared on the scene, I would say a couple of weeks back. I would say about a month back. And now they were challenging the Quebecers for the WWF Tag Team Championship. So by this time, they were managed by Captain Lou, as you can see in the scene. We got the hair shrinker side. Shout out to Mattel for finally getting us some hair shrinker figures. Matter of fact, hair shrinkers and the Samoan SWAT team figures. Glad to have them as part of the collection. But yeah, during this time we had Sika. I think it was Sika. Is he Sika Alpha? I can't think of which one it was, but it was one of them and Captain Lou managing the Hair Shrinkers. And obviously, Hair Shrinkers went on to win that match and become the WWF Tag Team Champions. Now it's May 16th, 1994, and this was the first ever sumo match on Monday Night Raw. Shout out to our buddy Bud Lightyear for pulling off this photo. And as you can see in the picture, we got pretty much a earthquake in his sumo attire, and Yoko ready to go at it in a sumo match. And then if you notice in the background, all at the bottom, you can see Cornette at ringside. So this match, it was different to see. So if you haven't checked out the sumo match, I would say go check it out. But was it something that was like, no, it wasn't something that I would just be like, oh, this was one of those, best times. But it was definitely something different for the times in the 90s. We didn't have too many wrestling sumo, and this was pretty much one of the first crossovers. Now we got the UFC crossing over with the WWE, but during this time we didn't have those type of crossovers. So this was kind of like an early version of a crossover. All right, so now we're going into 1995. So January 9th, 1995. Um, Pretty much this was the tuxedo match between the Fink and Whippleman. So again, shout out to Bud for pulling this shot off. Um, as you see in the picture, he has the Fink going at it with Harvey. Now, overall, this was a fun storyline, but the match was, as you pretty much can think, think was pretty dumb. This was kind of a knock off of the women's bra and panties match that they used to have all the time. So now we had the tuxedo match with the men. Um, and also, if you remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, we had some tuxedo matches. If you remember, like with Paul Jones and Jimmy Valiant, those type of matches. So this was kind of a play off of that. But like I said, it was a fun match. It was funny and entertaining. So again, WWF hadn't switched over to the E part. So pretty much, I guess we can say we got our money's worth with that one. All right, now it's April 3rd, 1995. And we are now just coming off the backlash from WrestleMania 11. So this is the point where Shawn had lost his match. He didn't get the title, and if I remember right, he was fighting against Diesel, or yeah, it was Diesel. That's who he was supposed to fight. Haha, I remember. So and pretty much he had hired Sid as his bodyguard, and Sid was supposed to bring, help him get the belt, that type of thing. Well, Sid didn't help him, as we know, and I think he actually ended up costing him the match. So on the next episode, Shawn pretty much invited Sid into the ring, and this was pretty much where Shawn was starting to make his face turn. So now he had been a heel during the whole Diesel Shawn rivalry, and now he's making his face turn. And this was also the beginning of the Psycho Sid turn now. So Sid, Shawn, of course, told him, big man, those famous words, the big man, your services are no longer needed. And Sid just had a fit and pretty much ended up going off on him and power bombing him. And as you can see in the left picture, you see the Shawn pretty much telling Sid like, "Hey, you know, services are no longer needed." And in the right picture, as you can see, Sid answers back with his power bomb. And we conclude this season with going back to May 15th, 1995. And if you remember, this whole storyline was hilarious. Bob Backlund, pretty much the Bob Backlund that we knew of, the wrestling, that type of thing, he had switched over into the real political Bob Backlund. And that's back when he used to use all those big words that had the context he used them in had no purpose, but it was funny just the way Bob played the character. Well, anyway, Bob announced that he was running for president and that he was going to save America. And if you in the picture, like I said, in this picture, Bud did a great job recreating this scene. As you can see, we got Bob with his tuxedo at his desk, and we see the signs in the background, Mr. Backlund for president. So if you didn't get a chance to see this series of events or this storyline with Bob, I would strongly suggest going back and review this one. Like I said, this was funny. It was very entertaining, and we know like Bob comes off as not having too much of a personality, but in this with this character and this gimmick, this definitely, like the way they did it and how they did it, it definitely worked for that time, and it was entertaining. It was annoying during that time, but it was entertaining. All right, y'all. Hope you have enjoyed this walk down memory lane. Um, Pretty much, we're still in the early stages of Raw. And these were some of the moments that stuck out to us that we were able to recreate. So keep in mind, as we're doing this, based on the figures that we have, based on the top moments that stick out, those are the moments that uh, we recreated. So hopefully we were able to jog your memories and bring a smile to your face. So until next time, you all stay blessed out there, and we'll catch you on the next go around.